if this term is confusing you on the real estate exam, you are not the only one. What is the difference between constructive eviction and actual eviction? We know eviction means someone's getting kicked out of the apartment, but that's actual eviction. The kind of eviction that we think of when we're like, oh crap, somebody didn't pay the rent, that's actual eviction. The landlord files in court and actually removes the person from the property through this court order. But constructive eviction is different. And if you remember the terms constructive notice and actual notice meant that someone is actually notifying you so that you have actual knowledge about it. Guess what? They're filing something in court. Constructive notice, on the other hand, is really the tenant's remedy to break a lease if the landlord is making the property uninhabitable. So for example, you have a building and inside the building is a boiler that keeps everybody nice and warm, but the boiler breaks and the apartment doesn't have heat and the landlord refuses to fix it. And it could be because they don't have the money, it could be because they don't fix it. And so the tenant can't live there anymore because it's uninhabitable, but the tenant has a lease. So constructive eviction is a remedy for this tenant to break the lease because the landlord kept the property uninhabitable. And they can not only break the lease without penalty, but in some cases they can sue for some sort of damages, maybe moving or emotional distress. So remember, actual eviction means a suit for possession. You might hear that term. It means a lawsuit. We're suing for possession. Because when the landlord rents the property to the tenant, if you remember, the stick in the bundle of rights that they're giving up temporarily is possession. So the landlord gives that right of possession to the tenant pays rent for it. When the landlord sues for eviction, they're really suing for possession. So actual eviction is also called a suit for possession. That is when the landlord goes and enforces that the tenant be removed from the property. And it could be for a plethora of reasons, like they didn't pay their rent or they broke the lease, whatever. Constructive eviction, on the other hand, is where the landlord made the property uninhabitable. And so the tenant, in their remedy, gets to break the lease, move on, and sometimes sue the landlord for damages. Just remember, actual eviction is the landlord took an action to remove the tenant, where constructive eviction, the landlord took sort of an action that caused the tenant to have to leave. And if you can't keep it straight in your head, this is something that maybe you need to go over and over again with flashcards and memorize. So if you need more help, grab our study pack. It includes electronic flashcards, audio recordings, video recordings, and we're always adding to it. No matter what, I promise you, you will figure it out. Just keep on going and you are this close to passing the real estate exam.